Today's lesson is comparing and ordering fractions, which can be found on page 38 in your notebook. Let's take a look at the first example. We're going to order these fractions from least to greatest. They all have the same denominator. That makes it very easy. All you have to do is look at the numerators. So 1 is the smallest, 2 is next, 3, 6 would be next, and then 5, 6. That's your answer in fractions in order. Most of the time they have different denominators though. For example, number 2 here, you have 3 fourths, 5 twelfths, 1/3, and 3 sixths. They all have different denominators. So you have to think of something. You want right here, you want to find the least common multiple. Think of something in your head mentally, or list all the multiples. I could list the multiples of 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, and then multiples of 12, 12, 24. You don't need to list too many until you kind of get going and see if you have something that they all have in common. Now, hopefully you get to the point where you don't have to do this at all. You can just think, well, I know all of those numbers go into 12, and then it makes it a lot faster than listing all the multiples. But you can see that they all have 12 as a common multiple. All right, so you want to set each one of these equal to 12 so that you're making equivalent fractions. So 4 times 3 is 12, so 3 times 3 is 9. Then you want to do 5 twelfths already has a 12th, so we don't need to change that one. But 1/3 is equal to blank over 12. So times 4, so times 4, you get 4. So now I'm looking at 9 twelfths, 5 twelfths, and 4 twelfths. And I have one more to do here. 3, 6 equals blank over 12. So times 2, I get 6. So those are my numbers. Now they all have 12 as a denominator, just like example 1. So all you have to do is look at their numerators. Well, the numerator of 4 twelfths is the smallest, but you don't want to write down your new fraction. You want to write down your original fraction. So 1/3 would be the least. Now, next numerically would be 5. So that was the original fraction, so 5 twelfths. And then the next one numerically would be 6 twelfths, but we want to use the original fraction, which was 3 sixths. And then 9 twelfths, which the original fraction was 3 fourths. So there is your answer of those from least to greatest. When you're comparing fractions, you can do the same thing. You could set them equal to have the same denominator, right? So this would be 8 tenths, and this would be that times this by 2, times this by 2, you get 4. Which one's bigger, 4 tenths or 8 tenths? Well, 8 tenths is greater. But there's a faster way you can do it when you only have 2 fractions. You can cross multiply. So all you have to do is take your 5 and times it by your 8. So you get 40. And take your 10 and times it by your 2 and you get 20. Which one of those is bigger? The 40 is. So this is your bigger fraction. You want to use that this fraction is less than that. Okay, so less than goes in there. Because 8 tenths is bigger. You want to make the alligator always eat the bigger number, bigger fraction here. Now this one, you just need to think about it. Like this has a 2. It's 2 wholes. This has 0 holes, so automatically that makes that one bigger. Don't let that one confuse you, because a lot of kids would see that 3 and say, oh, that's bigger, but it really has 2 holes in front of it. These both have the same denominator, 9 and 9. That makes it nice, so that I know that 8 ninths has to be bigger. These both have whole numbers that are both 2, so now I got to look at my denominators. One's an 8, one's a 5. So I have to either make them the same by making equivalent fractions, or I can cross multiply. 8 times 3 is 24. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 is bigger than 24, so you would make it a greater than symbol. Make sure that the alligator is eating the bigger fraction.